Si hace falta eso, descargas los niños y se viene Saúl y los vendes por Levante muy poco a poco se queda esa nada. Vale, recuerda...
We're here with Quentin Delapierre, starboard helm at Orient Express Racing Team. Looked like a complicated day on the water. Can you explain what was going on at the beginning of the sailing session before you managed to get some sailing in?
Yeah, we had an electronic issue, so the boat just stopped and we just managed it, but all good. And we were able to finish the sailing session, so nothing too bad.
And then you finally managed to put some time on the foils. What was the main focus while sailing?
Yeah, just discovering the yacht in those conditions. It was the first time for the world team. I'm quite impressed about how stable it is compared to the 40. So super happy with what we saw in straight lines, upwind and downwind. Still have plenty of tasks to improve, but it was a really good feeling.
The day ended with a technical issue while you were sailing downwind. Is this the same issue as the morning, the electronic issue?
Yeah, I think we hit something in the water, so it damaged a little bit the port foil. Other than that, no major one.
And how confident are you in the boat? How confident is the team as well?
Yeah, really confident. Super happy with what we have in the hands. As I said, the balance of the boat and the aero setting looks really good. Just waiting for the new faults on the port side, because at the moment I'm helming the boat with the whole generation. So yeah, I can't wait to see the new design.
And what are the biggest areas to focus on for development?
Just reliability for the moment. We are still in a commissioning period. As a new team, it's a big focus for us to be reliable and just to push every department to be as reliable as we can.
And did the design package from Team New Zealand include descriptions on how controls may be linked, or are you developing those logic systems yourselves?
No notice from TNZ, just a design package, and we don't have any calls with them to just control the boats better or something.
And do you have a specific simulator for the boat? And if so, how many hours have you spent on it?
Yeah, we spent quite a long time on the simulator just to find and improve all the system, all the logic. Pretty happy with this tool. I think we spent probably 2 or 3 weeks on it, and we still have some big session coming.
Quentin, avez-vous un message pour les supporters de l'équipe Orient Express?
Bien sûr, j'ai un message. Écoutez, je vous invite tous fin août, début septembre pour suivre ce début de la Coupe de l'Amérique. Et je suis sûr que vous allez être très fiers du bateau français qui, en plus de ça, a un look qu'on adore.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Tom Slingsby helming as usual on starboard on Patriot today. It was, we measured 9 to 11 knots of breeze and a really bumpy short chop that's quite unpleasant in the chase boat. What was it like on board the race yacht?
Yeah, as I was saying, it's a lot better on the yacht than the chase boat. We're flying just above, sort of a metre waves out there, and yeah, we're able to sort of skim across the top. Obviously, sometimes you get a little bit wobbly in the waves, but yeah, it was a pretty nice day sailing for us.
Wasn't tremendously windy considering the sea state. When you're coming out of jibes and tacks and looking at ley lines to the next mark, is it very different when you've got those sort of wave conditions, harder to predict?
It's not, I guess the manoeuvre success is a little bit tougher in those waves, but you're pretty much still tacking on your ley lines and tacking on your jibing on your ley line, and yeah, overall I think we were able to execute manoeuvres well, but the occasional one there where you didn't hook up out of the jibe, yeah, for sure you lost a bit of distance.
You went out quite late in the day. Was there a reason for that particularly?
We'd done a few changes to the boat, and nothing really easy to see by eyes, just a few changes we needed to make, and that's why we ended up late, and yeah, now we're back on schedule and we'll be back into our normal programming.
Were you looking for those conditions in particular, that bumpy, kind of not very windy?
No, it was just this was the time we were ready to go again after a few changes, and yeah, but honestly that's the stuff I want to work on, is that little bit lighter winds and bump. It's the toughest conditions to sail in pretty much any foiling boat, and the conditions we're expecting here in August, September, March is probably light airs and a bit of bumps. So that's what we would like to focus on a bit more.
Does the new Patriot deal with all of that better than the old Patriot?
Yeah, it's night and day. Obviously our nice big bustle sort of helps us sort of go in and out and transition from displacement to foiling well. If we do make a mistake and fall off, it feels like it's a short-term thing and you just bustle ride and then get out of there. And the old Patriot was pretty sticky and it was almost like if you did touch down, it was like it had glue on the bottom of it. It was very hard to get going again. So this Patriot is going really well.
You had a 4-day break prior to today. You mentioned some changes to the boat. Can you tell us anything about what got changed?
Honestly, it's nothing major. Yeah, we had just had a time where we said, okay, it's time to do all these changes. And yeah, it's nothing major and you won't be able to see much at all.
We've got, I think, another 4 days left on the recon before we finish on Saturday. What's the plan now, looking ahead?
Plan is to sail every day. I think I head off to New York tomorrow for Sail GP, and depending on the time we sail, I might do half the sailing session. And then the team's going to be sailing, yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday potentially. So obviously we're off the water a bit the last few days, and so we're just trying to make up for lost time.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Lee Macmillan, 3 times Extreme Sailing Series winner, and today playing as a spare sailor on Team Ineos Britannia. Lee, not the most comfortable day to be sitting on the chaseboat, right?
No, it was really lumpy out there, pretty unpleasant. I'm going to have to go and see the physio for the next few days, I think, after that. It's a much smoother ride on the race boat, but yeah, no, it's interesting to see it from the chase boat, and yeah, it was a very different day than we've had for a few weeks, I guess, here in Barcelona.
Definitely a very disorganized swell, conditions that we don't get too often here. What's your feel from the outside, how the boat's performance in these conditions?
Yeah, for sure, it's a very different kind of day, and it's something that we're keen to spend more time in, because here in Barcelona you can get those conditions in the summer and a whole range of conditions. So it was interesting to see it. It looked hot, from the glamour flat water Garbi days from the south. It's different looking kind of environment, and for sure there's heaps to learn about how you mode the boat differently and kind of tackle those conditions differently to get the best out of the boat.
Whenever you're not on board like today, which things are you more interested on?
When I'm not on board, what am I interested in? I'm really just looking at the overall stability and kind of just how the boat looks really in those conditions, and what where the potential gains are going to come from.
Which are the main takeaways for you?
Main takeaways. I mean, sea state makes the boat less stable. I mean, there's no real specifics, but it's just interesting to kind of get a general picture on it.
Then today it seemed like there was a little bit more interest than other days to interact with other teams, even though at the end it didn't materialize really well. Was that the intention?
Not particularly. I mean, it's always good to get little check-ins, and just kind of it just kind of adds a bit more interest to the day when you're kind of sailing near other boats. But yeah, it was a shame that last one didn't work out. We had an unfortunate crash tack on that one, and just kind of we were kind of planning on going in at that point anyway. So it was just the cycles were totally spent by that point as well. So I think everyone was ready to hit the dock by that point.
Then today sailing with J4 all day long. Do you think that towards the end of the day it was more appropriate to have a J3 maybe?
Yeah, for sure. I think we probably, you would have shifted down to a larger jib for the last race for sure. Maybe even a bit earlier. It was interesting. Every time we stepped offshore, the breeze picked up again. But along the coast there was some patchier zones, and to get through that sea state as well, I think you probably would have stepped down a jib size and high side a bit earlier.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, cheers.
We're here in Barcelona with Andrea Tesei, trimmer for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. Andrea, trimming in starboard side today, northeast wind with from around 12 to 18 knots with a steep and short wave. Can you please tell us what were the goals for today and if you managed to achieve them?
Yeah, today was definitely new conditions that we didn't encounter in the past weeks. We had a bit of wave on Saturday, but was still coming from the southwesterly with a longer period. Today we got the famous Levant again, which we encountered last year, and it was as we remembered. Very tough, pretty gusty, lots of wind laws and gusts coming in, and a very steep and short chop, especially getting close to the shore. And close to the shore also lighter breeze, so a lot to work on technique and handling in this condition.
So with this steep and short wave today, how important was to play with the canting arm angles when going upwind?
You are always playing with a canting angle. No? I like to make the comparison to your trapeze harness in a skiff or on another boat. So depending on the situation and your angle to the waves, you need to adapt the trim of the cant angle. So it's pretty dynamic depending on shifts and wind breeze.
Then were you trying to use the traveler as little as possible?
I mean, at the end of the day in these boats, like you want to move the less you can, not to trigger a snowball. The less you move, the best the easier it becomes. Obviously, you need to find the right track to make it happen. So it's not that easy. So not really looking into moving less the traveler. We're just trying to fix the boat in these waves and finding a stable flight and a stable trim.
Okay, and did you have always enough power available to trim as you want?
Yeah, I mean, the guys are pushing hard on the bikes. We definitely have more power than the past cup with the cyclers. And obviously the systems have been improving, and yeah, we're pretty happy about our systems. Obviously, you never have enough. You will always want more, and you can always improve in any department. So even in the power, you would want infinite power.
After Alinghi broke the mast, did you got any kind of advice from the mast supplier, or maybe just a debrief with your engineering team to avoid to expose to such kind of risk in the windy days?
I mean, we know we're pushing these boats to the limit, especially in the high breeze we had on that day. We were sailing us and Alinghi. And obviously when this stuff happens, everybody, the designers and everybody go through a loop to check that we aren't missing anything. We didn't really get any info on what broke from Alinghi, so no hints on that. But yeah, definitely looking into that we don't get into the same problems. Try to be safe.
To finish, you are fully focused on the pre-start training in this sailing block, as per we since today. What different sort of things are you trying to train inside?
You know, as we said before, it's a lot of a handling day. It's the first day we encounter these waves, so the pre-start gets pretty much all the maneuvers inside of it, and you train the starts as well. So it's a pretty broad drill where you can exercise pretty much everything.
Great, thanks so much, Andrea. Thanks for your time.
Welcome.